It is the final night of the Republican National Super Spreader event, featuring an address from the man whose brain rot dictates your destiny, President Donald Trump.
And advisor in a three-way race with her brothers to see who uses their massive head start to achieve the least in life, Ivanka Trump.
Plus, the president's attorney and family reunion Lothario, Rudy Giuliani.
Here with analysis is Princeton professor who believes paperback owners must be joking, Dr. Ike Bloom.
Political analyst pushing Trump to make Dana White Secretary of Education, Tyler Templeton.
Woman who has spent a full quarter of her life hanging out the side of a doorless Jeep, Bonnie Davis.
And former White House communications director who paid $300,000 to appear on this show, Anthony Scaramucci.
Coming at you faster than Tucker Carlson's soul descending to hell, our Tuning Out Election 2020 special coverage begins right now.
From CBS All Access, this is Tuning Out the News Election 2020, the Republican National Convention, a celebration of Ghislaine Maxwell.
I'm co-anchor and writer of over 33 apology think pieces titled My Time to Listen, Kylie Weaver.
And I'm co-anchor with a lake house full of hotel art, James Smartwood.
Tonight, President Trump promised to save America from the nightmare of Donald Trump's America.
While protesters could be heard shouting over the sound of Trump's fans clapping like seals being thrown buckets of rotten trout.
At no time before have voters faced a clearer choice between two parties, two visions, two philosophies, or two agendas. This election will decide whether we save the American dream or whether we allow a socialist agenda to demolish our cherished destiny.
It was powerful of him to point out how Democrats would destroy America's beloved COVID deaths, natural disasters, and racist cop violence.
Now, Tony, as someone who used to regularly speak on Trump's behalf, if I'm the average voter, is this the guy I want in charge of killing me and my family?
Well, you certainly can kill a lot of your family, but I would prefer your family to stay safe and healthy.
You still got it, Tony.
I am amped. The way Donald Trump speaks, it's just electrifying. I mean, the words he stumbles over, the fatigue, the sweat, it makes me feel like I can be president. That's why everybody should vote for me, Donald Trump, for president.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, my Lord. I mean, I had the chills. I was at church. You know, the only thing missing was Trump swinging around a naked baby in a pool of holy water. If he did that, my God, my daddy Lord, you know, he'd have swung the election for good.
It is a powerful statement considering Trump has allowed more people to dream the American dream while unconscious on ventilators.
Sure.
Now, the president continued to make bold promises on COVID that were much appreciated by a capacity crowd of its next victims.
In recent months, our nation and the entire planet has been struck by a new and powerful invisible enemy, and will produce a vaccine before the end of the year, or maybe even sooner.
Well, that's not entirely accurate, as there is already a powerful COVID treatment known as being a citizen in any other country.
Now, Anthony, now that everyone in his cabinet and family have been exposed to COVID tonight, do you think that vaccine is actually going to come through?
Well, I can only go by what Dr. Fauci is saying, so it's probably the first quarter of next year. But I think the one positive thing you say about Mr. Trump is that he did solve the immigration crisis. Nobody can come into the country and nobody can leave the country. So from that point of view, I guess it was a success.
Yeah, that's ideal.
You know what? When it comes to trying to keep people alive, you could call me old-fashioned, but I don't want my grandchildren growing up in a world without Trump. I want the world to have exploded by then, right?
There's a long history of presidents visiting hospitalized citizens, but this is the first known instance of a president visiting patients before they've been admitted.
Absolutely. Now, delivering the introduction to our amphetamine addict president who's friends with his TV was Ivanka Trump.
She took a break from cosplaying as a socially conscious diplomat to talk about what a good job Daddy's done with the fascism.
Dad, people attack you for being unconventional, but I love you for being real, and I respect you for being effective. Washington has not changed Donald Trump. Donald Trump has changed Washington.
Okay, she is right. Donald Trump has changed Washington to the tune of about 13,000 coronavirus cases.
He sure has. Now, Anthony, was this speech disgraceful, or do you want to pull your punches in the off chance Trump might make room for you in the 2024 cabinet?
I don't want to pull any punches. I want to go right after him. I mean, in addition to being boring and desultory, it was just a repetition of everything that was said in the last 3 days.
I think voters want to see Donald Trump promote Ivanka to First Lady so he can have two wives, one of whom is his daughter, Beast Mode.
I mean, Ivanka Trump's exactly what I want to see more of in Washington. You know, real pretty girls like me with long blonde hair talking about how, you know, Trump's kind of a dumbass, but we love him anyway.
Absolutely. Now, also speaking tonight was Rudy Giuliani, who power vacked the sweat from his neck folds to say this.
Biden has changed his principles so often, he no longer has any principles. He's a Trojan horse with Bernie, AOC, Pelosi, Black Lives Matter, and his party's entire left wing, just waiting to execute their pro-criminal, anti-police socialist policies.
Anthony, is he right about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris? Will the architect of the 94 crime bill and California's top cop steer our prison ship of a state on the wrong course?
Well, I mean, Rudy's talking out of both sides of his mouth. If they're so pro-anti-crime, how could they be for lawlessness? So it doesn't make any sense what these people are saying. But, you know, Joe Biden is a moderate. Kamala Harris is also pretty much a moderate. I think they're going to do just fine when they get elected on November 3rd.
You know, I think it's high time someone called out Joe Biden for flipping on his principles. I mean, unlike my man Giuliani, who knows real leaders don't have principles to begin with.
All right, coming up, a profile of the Trumps, a family that loves each other so much they don't even show an ounce of genuine affection to each other.
Plus, President Trump shows the medical community supports him by posing with a portion of Dr. Fauci giving a thumbs up.
But now, let's take a look at the Republicans' brilliant political message the last 4 nights. Donald Trump was doing a pretty good job before he got 180,000 people killed.
Before the China virus set in, women had gained 4.3 million jobs.
Before the pandemic, President Trump built the greatest economy.
Business boomed right until the COVID-19 shutdown.
Before the pandemic, 7 million jobs created pre-COVID-19.
And then the coronavirus struck.
Then came a once-in-100-year pandemic.
Before Communist China gave us the coronavirus.
And then, courtesy of the Chinese Communist Party, the virus struck.